The Samsung Galaxy A54 5G seems to be an enticing update for those on the chase. After a mid-range gadget, flaunting an invigorated design, top-of-the-line materials, and the promise of 2-day battery life, the redesigned materials mean Samsung's £449 Galaxy A54 feels perfect, and the overhauled 50MP camera with a bigger sensor ought to provide a leap in quality contrasted with its ancestor. However, is it enough to entice purchasers from well-known mid-range options, like the Google Pixel 6a? In the wake of enduring 7 days involving the Samsung Galaxy A54 as my primary smartphone, I'm clashed. Certain regions surely stand apart among the mid-range rivalry, yet a few key regions are as yet missing and prevent the A54 from being a moment's suggestion. Design and screen. New Galaxy S23-like design. Glass back assists it with feeling premium. 6.4 inches 120Hz AMOLED display. The Samsung Galaxy A54 5G has had a remarkable overhaul in the design division contrasted with its ancestor, the Galaxy A53 5G. However, you probably won't see it by seeing it front-on. That is on the grounds that the greater part of said change is occurring on the back of the phone. The most quickly observable is that Samsung has dumped the shape camera lodging present on last year's model, rather selecting the equivalent moderate design as the lead Galaxy S23 line. The Samsung Galaxy A54 close to the Galaxy S23. The straightforward threesome of focal points on the back is absolutely one of the cleaner glances around, particularly contrasted with rivals. That utilization gigantic round and rectangular camera lodging. I for one believe it's excessively moderate, verging on the boring, yet I'm certain there will be some that truly value the new look. Essentially, there are some staggering variety choices accessible to energize the oversimplified design, coming in especially lively shades of lime and violet, alongside a more muffled graphite and silver. The lime green completion is an undisputed top choice of mine, with a distinctive blaze of variety that looks exquisite, all things considered. The other huge overhaul for the Galaxy A54 is the material utilized. As opposed to going for plastic, Samsung has given the A54 the superior treatment, with a full glass back. It quickly causes the phone to feel more premium, particularly contrasted with the plastic Galaxy A34. It likewise adds a touch of heave, yet not to the place where it feels significant in the hand. At 202 grams, it's sufficiently weighty to feel premium, without taking to the drastic courses of action of the 240 grams iPhone 14 Pro Max. It likewise sports the more adjusted corners of the Galaxy S23 territory, which assists the phone with standing apart from an ocean of comparative-looking mid-range options. An IP67 residue and water obstruction ought to protect it from most mishaps. New design changes to the side. It's a lot of the same old thing for the Galaxy A54. Wearing a power button and volume controls on the right, a USB-C port on the base and a joined SIM and microSD card plate. The last option is a smart idea, permitting you to grow capacity by up to 1 TB whenever required. I wish it was a component of the lead S23 territory as well. The 6.4 inches AMOLED board sports and limitlessness design that, to you and I, essentially implies it has a solitary opening punch camera pattern in the display. It's the most straightforward method for differentiating among it and the Galaxy A34 with its vastness design. The mix of the FHD plus goal and 120Hz revive rate is great. However, it stays unaltered contrasted with last year's A53, and text can at times look somewhat delicate in the event that you've encountered anything higher. However, most purchasers probably won't take note. It would have been ideal to see a leap to a higher revive rate like the correspondingly estimated 144Hz Motorola G200, yet it's ostensibly all the same by then. It felt rich smooth while zooming around the UI. At any rate, the display is dynamic, dropping somewhere in the range of 60 Hz and 120 Hz relying upon what you're doing. However, you can likewise compel a 120 Hz revive rate to the detriment of battery life. It would drop down to a battery-saving 1 Hz, yet what mid-range phone does? Everything that expressed. My last impressions of the display are to a great extent sure. It's sufficiently large to serenely watch YouTube recording and films on Netflix. Colors are energetic and punchy, and it's effectively neat in direct daylight, with a maximum brilliance of 1000 nits. I miss components like HDR10+. While watching Netflix, however, highlights you can find on any semblance of the Redmi Note 12 Pro, in addition to 5G and Google Pixel 6a. Camera. New 50MP camera flaunts all over improvements. Ultra-wide and full-scale focal points stay unaltered. 32MP selfie camera. The camera arrangement, essentially where the principal focal point is concerned, seems to be a minimization, on paper, that is. Indeed, the megapixel count has dropped from 64MP to 50MP. With the Galaxy A54, however important, it's a totally new camera with a bigger sensor, bigger pixel size, and an upgraded OIS. At any rate, that means pretty respectable picture catch, I would say, in sufficiently bright circumstances. Sunlight pictures have a lot of detail, and the varieties pop. However, they're somewhat more distinctive than genuine and obvious Samsung design. In any case, it makes for lively shots more often than not, ideal for sharing via online entertainment. It's a component I've had a lot of issues with during testing, with the phone battling to zero in rapidly on subjects while first opening the camera application. It in some cases took me placing my hand before the focal point to drive the center change before it'd accurately get center. It's anything but an issue selective to photography either, with recordings facing a similar outcome, particularly in the event that you're enticed to zoom into a subject mid-recording. The disheartening center performance is somewhat of an unexpected given Samsung's camera prowess at the top finish of the market, to such an extent that I'm certain that Samsung will fix the issue with a future programming update. For the time being, however, the self-adjust is one of the phone's greatest shortcomings. The primary sensor is upheld by a 12MP broad and a 5MP full-scale focal point. The previous is genuinely good for catching extensive shots with a wide 0.5x zoom. However, it's best utilized in sufficiently bright circumstances, brandishing a gap of f divided by 2.2 that can make things look a little delicate and dull in low light circumstances. The 5MP full-scale focal point is the most specialty of the assortment, and something I don't figure many individuals will utilize at least a couple of times, with a decent center that makes it hard to catch anything of note. The way that the full-scale shooting mode is found in the more segment of the camera application, as opposed to one of the principal shooting modes, says a ton regarding how Samsung sees it. Flip the phone over and you'll find a 32MP opening punch selfie camera inserted into the highest point of the display. That is all that anyone could need for selfies and video calls. However, as you could expect, most photography ought to be passed on to the back focal points. Performance: Exynos 1380 chipset. A periodic falter is available. Samsung One UI 5.1 in light of Android 13. Not at all like the Galaxy A34, which has dumped Samsung's own processor for a MediaTek SAM. Samsung's Galaxy A54 sports an overhauled Exynos 1380 chipset, the most recent one in the organization's program, having been uncovered only half a month preceding the phone's declaration. That is matched with 8GB of RAM. Whether or not you decide on the 128GB or 256GB variation, with the capacity to involve spare ROM as RAM and eager for performance applications. You've likewise got the choice to help capacity by up to 1TB, with a microSD space, something missing from Samsung's leader range. With everything that expressed, don't expect lead-level performance. However, everyday performance is genuinely good, and logical enough for easygoing smartphone clients. I could look at media-weighty applications like Twitter and Facebook absent a lot of stammer or dial back, and the phone could run hierarchical shooter Survivor.io with undeniable level designs empowered. However, the 2D animation style game isn't so illustration serious as titles like COD Portable. Be that as it may, the experience was flawed. The change from lock screen to home screen can at times require a second. For instance, with the phone holding tight an obscured screen prior to stacking your application symbols and gadgets. I likewise saw frame rate drops while playing the genuinely essential Survivor.io for over 30 minutes, which doesn't look good for longer gaming meeting. Components like exchanging between the primary and ultra-wide focal points can likewise require a little while, which isn't great in the event that you're attempting to catch a fast snap of your pets or kids accomplishing something entertaining. In this way, indeed, while you'll have a generally smooth encounter, it's not exactly as quick as some eager for power clients would like. That is upheld by our benchmarks as well, with a multi-center score of 2703 in Geekbench 6 and only 810 in 3D Mark. Things aren't substantially more uplifting in GFX Bench, overseeing only 19 FPS in the top-of-the-line Aztec Remnants test. Battery life: huge 5000 mAh battery. Battery life relies intensely upon what you're doing. 25W charging is excessively delayed for the size of the battery. Samsung needed to pull out all the stops on battery life, with its A-series with both the Galaxy A54 and its modest Galaxy A34 donning the very 5 mAh battery that is found in the top-end lead S23 Ultra, which is likewise greater than that of the S23 and S23 in addition to. On paper, that sounds pretty damn noteworthy, particularly when combined with Samsung's cases of 2 days on a solitary charge, yet that doesn't necessarily reflect genuine use. On a normal day, the Galaxy A54 was functional. I could take it off charge at around 7:30 am, use it irregularly during that time to pay attention to music, look at Instagram and answer to WhatsApp messages. It'd dependably end the day at around 11:30 p.m., with around 40% battery left in the tank. That is very great. Finally, please subscribe to my channel to get more video. Thanks, and see you again next time.